Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. Super excited for you to hear today's amazing episode. But before I jump into that, I have so many people that reach out to me and ask, how do I start a podcast? What do I need to do? And what you guys listen to, wherever you're listening to this from, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, in my opinion, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. It's one of those things where I jumped into it because it has everything that I needed in one place. And that's what I loved about it. The tools that allow you to record and then edit your podcast from your phone or your computer, which is so accessible. But also, when you actually host your podcast on Anchor like I do, you can distribute that podcast on all the listening platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, all the different big ones that people are listening to. It's all from here. And it's everything that you need to make a podcast in one place. And the other great thing is, and why I always suggest it to people, it's absolutely free. And this is the easiest thing to do. All you have to do is download the Anchor app on Apple or on your Android, or go to anchor.fm. And that's how you get started. It's that simple. So if you have a message, if you have something really important you want to share, getting your podcast out on the anchor.fm platform will get you there. And not even will get you there, you'll be amazed at what could happen. So enjoy today's episode. Hey there, and super excited for another incredible podcast episode for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm going to be going over some really, really juicy and important content that you obviously need to be made aware of in regards to LinkedIn. But second, and again, very exciting, is we're officially 1 week away. Nancy and I are hosting our final free content creation workshop of the year. Next Monday, October 24th, it's a 90-minute masterclass from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. EDT, live and recorded. And we're doing a bonus session on Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. EDT, live and recorded, full question and answer. So in previous masterclasses or workshops that we've done, we've actually spread this out over 3 days, over 5 days. And we said, you know what? The most valuable commodity someone has is their own time. And we want to make this as streamlined and as duplicatable as possible, giving people the quickest tracks to run on in the shortest amount of time. And that's why we're doing this in a compressed 90-minute masterclass. Everyone gets a free workbook. And then again, they can attend the bonus session the next night, Tuesday the 25th, from 8 to 9 p.m. EDT. Free to register. The link to register yourself is in the description of this episode, and we would love to see you there. So the main part of obviously what I wanted to talk about today are the 3 things that you should never do on LinkedIn. And again, each social media platform itself has definitely the what to do and the what to not do lists. And LinkedIn is absolutely no different from that. And interestingly enough, I still see people trying to quote unquote hack the system and take these shortcuts to become successful in a quicker way, when there's no quick way to success. That's something that's built out over time. And some of the things I see people doing on LinkedIn, they absolutely completely boggle my mind. And I'm not alone in this. I have people reaching out to me all the time, saying these same things. And I really question if these tactics actually work. And a good portion of them don't. But, are they worth the risk? And quicker is not always better. So what I wanted to dive into today are the 3 things that you should absolutely avoid at all costs in doing on LinkedIn. Now, The first thing that you should never ever do is never ever email a connection of yours directly without their permission. Now, I'm not saying don't message them on LinkedIn, but back in the day, you were actually able to download all of your contacts and your connections on LinkedIn, including their email addresses. And what was happening was people were taking those emails and importing them into the CRM that they were using, which is non-compliant. So LinkedIn actually caught wind of this. And because of the GDPR regulations, which is the regulatory system around importing email addresses and sending unwarranted emails, right? So what LinkedIn did was they still allow you to this day, you can download all of your connections, but it actually doesn't include the email attached to it, which is a very good thing. But here's what's happened. But what some people have done is they try to skirt around this by hiring a VA, a virtual assistant, to go in and copy and paste the email addresses from the contact information section on everyone's profile and then add them manually into a CRM and then start email blasting them, or just send that the VA will send someone an Excel document with the name and emails of their connections, and they will email them personally outside of LinkedIn through their personal email. In my honest and humbled opinion, that is a one-way ticket, not only for someone to report that email as spam, which is happening all the time, which is what I do, but I will then remove and block that person from my connection list on LinkedIn. So it's a double whammy. Don't do that. The moral of the story is never ever personally email a connection of yours unless you have their permission. So if you're connecting with them through LinkedIn Messenger and you both agree to a phone conversation, you can say, well, great, what's your email address? And I will send you a calendar invite. That is compliant and that is actually okay. Now, the earlier portion of that I mentioned is completely not okay. Now, that's number one. Number two, do not ever buy into the marketing scam, and this is a scam. Never buy into the marketing scam that a company or an individual that is promoting, whether through Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn ads, or just stuff that they're posting on social media, that they can get you hundreds of leads a month or a week on LinkedIn. This, in my humbled and honest opinion, is the absolute biggest lie and fallacy out there right now on LinkedIn. For those that don't realize this, it is 100% impossible to generate hundreds of leads per month, let alone a week on LinkedIn. So people may say, well, Scott, how? Why? Can you explain more to that? Well, first, I'm a numbers guy through and through. So here are the numbers to back why it's 100% impossible. And people can argue with me up, down, left, right. It's impossible. You can only send 100 connection requests per week on LinkedIn. That is known, or you'll get restricted. You can only send 100 connection requests per week. So with that in mind, that means you can only send 400 connection requests per month. So for those that didn't know this, the average acceptance rate for a connection request that are being sent out on the high end, meaning that the high end of this is about 35%. So 35 out of every 100 connection requests sent will be accepted. That is on the high end. If you do the math and you use that 35% of the connection request rate are accepted, if you do that and compound that over a month, that means you will have 140 new connection requests that month. So you've sent out 400. If 35% of the 400 accept, you have 140 new connections per month. Now, the other misconception is that people are told, this is the other lie. People are told that a connection request accepted is a lead. That is not true. A new connection accepted on LinkedIn is just that. It's a new accepted connection. A lead is a new connection that you've made which leads you to sending them a very genuine and authentic message, which in turn has them respond back that they are interested in speaking with you on a call or a Zoom, and then you have booked a call on your calendar. Now that is a lead, not someone accepting your connection request. A lead is having the accepted connection request book a call on your calendar. So if you break down the math even further, if you are generating on the high end of the example I gave you, 140 new connection requests per month, which means 35% of the people accepting the connection request that you can send on the max. You can send 400 connection requests per month, 35% accept, 140 new connections. That means that these marketing companies and individuals that are telling you that they can get you hundreds of connections per week and per month, that means 100 out of the 140 new connection requests agree to a phone call. It's impossible. I can guarantee you, anyone listening to this that is a seasoned user of LinkedIn, you're not booking 100 calls per month. I focus on the quality of leads generated over the quantity of leads. Anyone that has worked with me or heard me speak, if you book 5 new connection calls per week, that's it, 5, Monday through Friday, that breaks down to 20 per month, and you only close 20%. 80% say no, 20% say yes. You'll have 4 new sales into your business per month. That's how it's done. If you read or hear anyone telling you otherwise, that you can generate hundreds of leads per week, hundreds of leads per month on LinkedIn, do not buy into the fallacy and waste your money. It's not the truth. The numbers that I just broke down to you are the truth. Focus on booking 5 new quality calls a week, 20 per month, close 20%. You got 4 new sales into your business every single month, month after month. So that is number 2. The third and final thing that you should never, ever do on LinkedIn is hire a company to connect and message for you. Never, ever. So I took this directly from the user agreement on LinkedIn, and I'm going to leave the URL where you can actually go and read this verbatim. And if you go to linkedin.com/legal/user-agreement #DOS, DOS. I'm going to leave that URL in the description. The main thing I want you to acknowledge is this. On 8.2 of the don'ts, when you accept the user agreement on LinkedIn, there's about 13 or 14 things that you acknowledge that you will never do on LinkedIn. You agree that you will not create a false identity on LinkedIn, misrepresent your identity, create a member profile for anyone other than yourself, a real person, or attempt to use another's account, which means you can't hire a VA to log in for you. That is violating Section 8.2 of the don'ts on the LinkedIn user agreement. The second thing is you are not allowed to develop, support, or use software or any other means to scrape the services or otherwise copy profiles and other data from the services. So that means you can't use any software that's doing automated processes for you. You have to use LinkedIn by hand. And finally, number 3, you are not allowed to use bots or other automated methods to access the services, add or download contacts, send messages, or redirect messages, which means if anyone listening to this is using any automated software that's connecting and messaging for you automatically, you are violating the user agreement of LinkedIn and you are running the risk of having your account shut down. If you can't authentically and genuinely use LinkedIn from an organic standpoint, you shouldn't be on the platform. It's about building relationships. It's about building connections and rapport and trust. It's about passing business back and forth. It's about standing out in a crowded market on social media, and LinkedIn gives you that visibility. So again, the 3 things that you should never do: never ever email your first connections directly without their permission. Do not buy into the marketing scam that a company or an individual can get you hundreds of leads per month or per week on LinkedIn. Mathematically, it's impossible. And finally, do not hire a company to connect and message for you, because you will then be violating the user agreement of LinkedIn and you can get your account shut down, and it's happening all the time. And I do not want to see that happen to you. Now, the final thing is, don't forget our free 90-minute content creation workshop on October 24th and the bonus session on October 25th. It's free. You can sign up. The description of this episode will include not only the user agreement, so you can read it verbatim yourself, but also the registration link to register for our free content creation 90-minute masterclass with bonus session on Tuesday. And again, 8 to 9:30 p.m. EDT on Monday, 8 to 9 p.m. EDT on Tuesday, live and recorded, and the replays will be available in a private Facebook group and via replay page until that Sunday, so you can binge watch all you want. So everyone, I hope you found this helpful. Please enjoy the rest of your days. Love and gratitude, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife Nancy and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you everyone for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.